هتلاقوا عربيه وبقوا حاسبونا على كده، عربيه واحده على السكه او جرار. قول يا كامل.
ان شاء الله يا فندم باذن الله ديسمبر 21 مش هيكون عندنا عربيه قديمه على خطوط السكه الحديدي اللي هم ال 10000 كيلو، بالاضافه اللي احنا بنعمل له الزواج ونطوره كمان.
بس ده اللي انا عايز اقوله. اتفضل يا كامل. ده رقم كبير اتحط عشان نعمل ده، عشان نجيب 100 جرار جداد ونجيب 1500 عربيه قطر جداد ونعمل 5 اطارات جداد من اسبانيا وكلام تاني كتير، عشان نوصل ان احنا في الاخر ونجدد العربيات القديمه. عندنا هدف ان قطاع السكه الحديد كقطاع نقل يساهم في حركه ونقل الانسان والبضائع يكون بشكل كامل في نهايه. عربيه قديمه، مفيش جرار قديم، السكه كلها تم رفع كفاءتها ما امكن.
My dear viewers, this is a special coverage of the 11th Summit of Developing 8 Organization for Economic Cooperation, D8, that was inaugurated by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi today. To shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, Mr. Abbas, Zohairy, economic expert. Good day to you, sir. Hello? Mr. Zohairy? Hello? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the 11th Summit of the Developing 8 Organization for the Economic Cooperation was inaugurated by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. The President participated in a special session on Palestine and Lebanon within the 11th Summit of the Developing 8 Organization for Economic Cooperation, D8. Earlier, the President inaugurated the D8 in the new administrative capital on Thursday. Addressing the inaugural session, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said that each country in this organization has its distinctive history, civilization, and culture, which enhances the organization's value and solidarity among its members. President also said that the summit focuses on youth issues and discusses political and economic files. President Sisi also added that the summit includes a special session to discuss the situation in Gaza and Lebanon. He also referred that developing countries find difficulty in achieving development while facing global challenges. He also stressed on the necessity of solidarity among the developing countries to achieve growth for their peoples and targets of sustainable development. The President announced a number of initiatives during Egypt's presidency of the 8 Developing Countries Organization for Economic Cooperation. President Sisi have highlighted the importance of cross-border investments, technological innovation, and the need to equip young people with skills for modern economy. Egypt, as the host country, emphasized its role as a regional leader and economic powerhouse. The summit also tackles urgent humanitarian issues with a special session dedicated to address the ongoing crisis in Gaza and Lebanon, with an eye on efforts of humanitarian aid and also reconstruction. Well, to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, Mr. Abbas Zohairy, the economic expert. Good day to you, sir.
Good day, Amin.
Mr. Zohairy, how did you follow the 11th D8 organization today, inaugurated and headed by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi?
Well, I was astonished about this summit because it should have happened since a very long time ago. And what take my attention is that all the members of the summit, they were encouraged to talk about the development of the economic in the future, as well the political situation in the area. And this has been discussed in the summit, and President Sisi has played a big role in taking action and also pointed to each decision, and they all were agree about it. And this was a good step for taking action against all what happened in the area. This creates a lot of anger and create a lot of difficulties for the countries, especially what they mentioned about Lebanon and Gaza. And Gaza strike, actually, it's a criminal situation which has to stop. That's what I think about the summit in the moment.
Yes. Mr. Zohairy, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi also during this session, during his speech before the session today, said that the summit also focuses on youth and also issues of discusses political and economic files. How did you read his statements?
Well, it was clearly in the summit they were comparing between the West and the East, and some of the leaders has pronounced and then has also mentioned that the youth in the area with a Muslim country is much more than the youth in Europe. They said also that we do have about 60% of the population is youth, and in Europe there is all elder, comparing to what we have here. And also they have agreed about that they do have to give a lot of opportunities to the youth because they are the future. And they talk about education and then also the EI, and then also about the development of the education for those youth is not only a certificate, but it's training, and also about the political situation in the area, that they should be aware of everything what's going on. And it should be also exchange between countries, between youth from, for example, Turkey and Egypt, of Indonesia and then Egypt, and then all the surrounding countries which has been taking part of the summit.
Yes, the President also, Mr. Zohairy, the President said that each country in this organization has its distinctive history, civilization, and also its culture, which enhances and gives value to this organization and solidarity among its members. How did you read also his words, and how does these countries add to enhancing the aims of the conference?
Actually, if I look at the total members of the countries in the summit, they are all, of the most of them are countries with culture. If we talk about Egypt, that Egypt is the most civilized and with the history and then ancient, and then also if we talk about Indonesia, if we talk about Turkey, if we talk Azerbaijan, and all these Muslim countries, I mean, the youth could be value for the future if they will be getting an idea of learn about the civilization of each country separately, and also they could exchange and then use these two from country to country. I think this will make them united and then have a lot of more knowledge about what's going on. They could be united in economic, in education, in political, and as they have said, which hurt me actually, that was the President of Indonesia. He was talking about the respect of the Muslim countries. He was very emotional about it, that he said, according to what all happened in the area, the Muslim people must get more attention and get more respect in this world.
Yes, adding to your words, as you've mentioned, also development and also education concerning youth, the President said, spoke about the importance of cross-border investments between the member states of the summit, the organization, also technological innovation and the need to equip young people with skills for the modern economy. So give us an idea about the idea of modern economy.
My idea about the modern economy, we are in the time which we have to learn from each other, especially in the EI and in the technology, what is on in the moment. Because the older methods doesn't work nowadays, so we have to encourage our youth to learn the new methods of technology, as well the EI, which will take a bigger places in the world for arranging the economy and the political and the military and all the things. And if the youth will exchange this knowledge from country to country, I think that will make them stronger and will make them united, and they will know about what they are talking about, and this will limitate the hassle what's going on around, and then it might be better for the peace in the future. They could understand the situation of each other.
Yes. Also, Mr. Zohairy, there was a special session, or the second session was dedicated for Gaza and Lebanon, with an eye on the efforts of humanitarian aid and also reconstruction. How did you follow this session?
Well, I have followed a lot of summits, and especially from the Arab countries, and actually the talk was okay, and then everybody is talking about his situation, about what they're supposed to do. But I think in this summit, I realize that those leaders think about something else in the future. They could have sit in summits many times, and they could have taken many, talk about many points which will improve the situation. But without having, for example, in army or forces from all these countries to protect any invasion from outside to one of these countries, nothing will help. For example, if they talk about the propaganda in Gaza from the Israeli people, what is going on there, it's unhuman. It's out of every respect. And also what happened in Lebanon, they couldn't have a president since 2 years. And also they didn't talk more about what's going on in Syria, because it just happened. And then they said, we leave it to the Syrian people to decide what they will do. But this creates a lot of dangerous in the area, and also a lot of attacking, and also the humanitarian. There is no humanitarian well taken care of. And if we talk about the big countries, I don't want to mention any names, but they support Israel to do the unhuman things in it. And I think I am, what you can call it, I hope that this summit will create an action in the future that could have helped. If somebody invade a country, that they could be gathering for a bigger force to determine it.
Yes. Mr. Zohairy, the summit includes or gathers leaders, of course, of Egypt, Indonesia, Iran, Malaysia, Nigeria, Pakistan, and Turkey, and others. Also, the leader of Iran is here, and this is the first time to visit Egypt since the year 2013. How do you see the importance of this? Because, of course, the organization or the summit has sidelines meetings, and this is a very rare visit by the Iranian leader.
Well, if I will talk about political, I understand it very well, and I know much more about it. And the president of Iran being in this summit in Egypt, and also president of Turkey, Mr. Erdogan, and that gives more stability for the thinking in the future, because they have made Iran as a blacklisting country while they are Muslim people. And I think I cannot talk, I will not talk about political, but I will talk about economical. These countries, if they will be united, they could be having a bigger force in the Middle East, that people can take care that if they will invade any place, they will not succeed, because they know that they are stronger. And Iran is far in what they are doing, what they are busy with, but the situation is difficult to understand. I heard the president of Iran talking, and in his speech, he was talking only about the invasion from Israel and the situation from the States. And also, I heard the speech of Mr. President Erdogan from Turkey. He was more natural about Syria and about Gaza and about the respect of the Muslim people. So I think it's a positive to have this summit in Egypt, and including Iran and Turkey and all the other countries.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information, Mr. Abbas Zohairy, the economic expert. I really had the pleasure to have this phone with you. Ladies and gentlemen, a short break, and I'm going to be back with you. Welcome back. Egypt have hosted the 11th summit of the Developing Aid Organization for Economic Cooperation. The 8th President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have inaugurated the summit in the new administrative capital on Thursday. The details on the following report.
Egypt hosts the 11th summit of the Organization of Aid Developing Countries, the 8th, on Thursday, in attendance of leaders from its member states: Egypt, Turkey, Iran, Pakistan, Indonesia, Bangladesh, Malaysia and Nigeria. The 11th D8 summit is held under the theme Investing in Youth and Supporting Small and Medium Enterprises, Shaping Tomorrow's Economy. It focuses on fostering economic collaboration among member states, with key discussions revolving around trade, energy and technology. Earlier on Wednesday, the Turkish presidency announced that President Recep Tayyip Erdogan would visit Egypt on Thursday to attend the 11th D8 summit and a special session on the situation in Palestine and Lebanon. Moreover, Iran's Minister of Foreign Affairs announced that President Massoud will visit Egypt to attend the summit. This will be the first visit by an Iranian president to the country in over a decade. Pakistani Prime Minister, Indonesian President and Bangladesh Chief Advisor also attend the summit, discussing shared development challenges in their countries. In addition, the summit features meetings for foreign ministers and economic experts to outline actionable strategies for boosting intra-D8 trade investment and economic ties. Meanwhile, Minister of Foreign Affairs Badr Abdelati hosted the 21st Council of Foreign Ministers meeting of the D8 organization in the new administrative capital on Wednesday. The D8 organization was established in 1997 to enhance economic cooperation and leverage collective resources for sustainable development among its member countries. Egypt, the organization's current chair, will hand over its chairmanship to Indonesia in January 2026.
Well, to shed more light on this, we had the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, Mr. Amr Abdurrahman, writer, journalist, and political analyst. Good day to you, sir.
Good evening to you and the dear viewers.
Thank you so much. Well, Mr. Abdurrahman, how did you follow the summit today? How did you see the importance of this summit inaugurated by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, hosted by Egypt in the new administrative capital, and also the timing of the summit?
Well, the timing is the key. That opportunity that came to us throughout that summit that gathered the leaders of Egypt, Turkey and Iran was in a very significant time, and throughout the whole region is going through critical events, and we have witnessed what happened in Gaza Strip, what happened in Syria, and that was a chance for the leaders of the 8 countries, and especially the 3 leading countries in the region, Egypt and Turkey and Iran, to have a chance, to have an opportunity to communicate thoroughly in direct conversations, face-to-face conversations towards all the files that are concerning the mind and the conscience and the future of the nations in the Arabic East, and of course our neighbors in Middle East. That was a chance also for an economical effort, joint efforts by the countries that belonging to the organization of the 8 developing countries, for economic cooperation, for more cooperation, for basics, for making deepen up the basis of cooperation between the 8 countries, which have a large society and huge opportunities for the future, taking advantage of that opportunity to expand the horizons of cooperation, especially that the world today only recognize the power of unity and the language of economy. So I believe this is a very important and significant summit, came right in the perfect time.
Yes, Mr. Abdurrahman, also there was the second session was especially for Gaza and Lebanon. How did you follow the importance of this session and its recommendations?
Of course, it was in a very significant time for the leaders, especially for Egypt. The Egyptian president, Mr. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and Mr. Recep Tayyip Erdogan, and the leader of Turkey, and the leader of Iran, Mr. Abbas, which comes in a very critical time. I wouldn't hide that there is a conflict of interests that goes without saying between the 3 countries, but narrowing the gaps and bridging the gaps between the interests of the 3 countries can be settled, and efforts should be done in this matter. We don't need any more conflicts. We need the peace and prosperity in the region. We need in Gaza Strip from this unit existence to withdraw from Salah ad-Din passage and Netzarim passage or corridor, and also from Philadelphia corridor, and from whole of Gaza Strip. And we need a solid and a full state, full authorities, Palestinian state in the occupied lands, with all the branches, whether army, whether police, whether an independent authority in Syria. I don't believe that we can ever recognize a terroristic group that belongs to Al-Qaeda to rule our own right wing of our own national security in Egypt. That the same organization that we have fought for 7 years in Sinai and achieved victory. The same organization that has changed names from Al-Qaeda into Al-Nusra, into Sham Liberation Organization, the same organization despite the difference of the names. That terroristic group has killed our own martyrs in Sinai and other places, and conspired with our enemies against our own stability, against our own police, against our own army, against our own nation in Egypt, and of course the whole Arabic nation. So I believe that there are conflicts and there are differences, but we can together narrow the gaps and find a better way to communicate, to stop the policies of conflict and tackle on the means of peace and seeking prosperity and fruitful future for the whole nations in Egypt and in the Middle East and in the Arabic East.
Yes, Mr. Abdurrahman, also President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, during his speech before the summit, stressed the importance of cross-border investments, also technological innovation, and the need to equip youth or young people with the skills of a modern economy.
Well, of course, Mr. President has tackled on the very crucial point here. We are seeking a sustainable, competitive and strong economy to be built in Egypt with cooperation with our friendly nations. I tackle here on something very important, that nations are neighbors and brothers and even having so much in common, despite the differences of the best interests of the leaders or the agendas of the countries. So Egypt is tackling very much on this point, seeking cooperative cooperation economically and spreading the new culture of collective investment in the future towards a better tomorrow. Throughout the collective rise of the emerging economies, and we are in Egypt one of the emerging economies, goes without saying. We have established a lot in the future. We have invested in the future, and it's time to not yet to gain, but still we can cooperate with other associates to provide our own nations the best results for this effort that have been accomplished throughout the past 10 years. We are also tackling on the sustainable development, taking the use of the modern understanding of cooperative economies. The world is only respects the sound of power and the sound of unity, and a whole lot of 8 countries, they are different. They have a variation of files, economy, and potentials, economically, politically, and we can gather our own potentials in one stream for the best for our own nations.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information, Mr. Amr Abdurrahman, the writer and political analyst. I really had the pleasure to have this phone with you. Ladies and gentlemen, a short break and I'm going to be back with you.